Today it's Hillsdale County Sheriff Scott Hodshire, and good morning, and thanks for being with us, Sheriff, on this holiday weekend.
Hey, it's great to be with you. Here it is, 8 o'clock in the morning. You got me out of bed early, sir.
Well, I would imagine you want to remind people about safety on the holiday weekends because the roads are full of people.
Absolutely. Please take your time getting to where you're going. Leave a little bit early. Always remember to wear your seatbelt. That's huge. In case there's a crash and you have a rollover, at least you'll still be inside the vehicle when we come to rescue you. Obviously, drinking and driving, that is not cool. We ask that you refrain from that. Boat safety, we ask that you have all your life jackets on board, one throwable device, and it is perfectly legal to drink and drive a boat. However, you cannot be under the influence. So what it normally takes you in a bar to be legally intoxicated will be exactly half of that out on the water because you have the sun in the wake that's sloshing around that alcohol in your system. So be extremely careful. We will be out. Marine Patrol will be out. I do have 4 cars out during the Labor Day weekend. So we will be looking for impaired drivers. So please, no drinking and driving at all. If you think that you are intoxicated, go by that gut feeling. Call somebody, get a ride. We just want you to stay alive. We want you to be safe this holiday season. And just remember, folks, we're celebrating the men and women of the armed forces that have passed this holiday. So don't make that be a bad thing to celebrate because you decided to get behind the wheel intoxicated and pass away. That's a bad way to ruin a good holiday like Memorial Day.
And intoxication just doesn't affect the driver. It can kill or injure other folks, too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We just, I think we've done a great job. I've seen DUI cases going down, so that's an awesome thing. I think people are getting the message. I would not want my family involved in a situation like that where a drunk driver hit them. That's definitely obviously not good.
Well, and back to the boat, I could see also, you're mentioning it takes about half as much. That's really good to know. And I would think you could easily kind of get carried away when you're on a boat if everyone is talking and having a good time, and it could kind of sneak up on you. So people need to be careful.
Absolutely. So they'll anchor out in the middle of the lake. They'll have a great time, dive off, swim, sit there and drink, 2 or 3, 4 beers. Then when you get to taking off, pretty soon, that wake is starting to slush around in your, the beer's starting to slush around in your stomach, and pretty soon you're, when you have to stand up real quick, you know how that is. You get lightheaded, or that's when it actually kind of gets to you. That hey, wow, I've had too much to drink here. And you can die on a boating crash. We've had it happen before. Back when I was running Marine Patrol, I was actually working Marine Patrol, and I think I had 3 DUI arrests in 1 year. So it's serious to get them off the lake, so you can have fun skiing, tubing, being with your family during the holiday weekend.
And that's what has to be one of the hardest things about being in law enforcement or first responders, period, dealing with these really tragic situations where people are hurt or are killed. And I'm sure it doesn't get any easier the more you deal with that.
It doesn't. And the way we kind of look at it is, what if that was my child? What if that was my niece or my nephew?
Yep.
And it's sad to us that we have to go, tell the parents that, hey, your son was killed in a crash due to a drunk driver, or hey, your child was impaired, hit a tree and passed. That's news we don't want to deliver.
Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening with the Sheriff's Department, because you've been working really hard to beef things up and be as effective as you can be in Hillsdale County.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. So during my administration, the last 4 years, we started back up the community service program. So where if I'll give you an example, Somerset Township calls us and says, "Hey, we need some workers out here to rake the leaves or pick up branches or to paint." How we get those workers is, let's say someone is caught driving under the influence. The judge gives them 5 days jail. They have the option to work the program for 5 Saturdays in a row. We take that individual out to the park or to the nonprofit organization, and they actually work off their community service 8 hours a day.
That's a win for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. We were at Somerset Township last year 7 times. We were in the city of Reading for a couple weekends. We painted all their fire hydrants. We were in the village of Montgomery 7 or 8 times. So, I mean, it's a very, very good program that helps out the nonprofit organizations, that might be struggling for lawn mowing and weed eating and all that stuff. So it's a big win.
How about staffing at the Sheriff's Department? I know today, in today's world, it's not easy to find people that want to go into law enforcement.
Well, with that, here's the deal, Doug, is Hillsdale County is a very conservative county with not a lot of tax base. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we don't pay the wage that Lenawee County, Branch County, Jackson County pay. So we have, when I was appointed in 20 and elected in 21, we had 9 out-of-county deputies. We were known as the second chance office. So they would come here, work a couple years, and then they'd, shoot back toward home for a job closer. I've lost deputies to Taylor PD for $11 more an hour than what I pay to start. So here's what we've done, Doug, is that we're not turning down applicants from out of the county. However, we haven't gotten any, but we are hand-picking out of our county. We are recruiting our own people out of Hillsdale County to actually go through the academy. They were born here, raised here, grew up here, have ties here. They're not going to go anywhere. When a call comes in, let's just say from Hillsdale to Territorial Road, a new deputy out of this county, it'd probably take him 10 or 15 minutes longer by the time he punches it into his GPS or her. With the deputies that live in this county, they know exactly where Territorial Road is, right? So they're going to shoot right there, and they're going to be there probably, 10 to 15 minutes before the other death. So what I like about it is we got a lot of young men and women. I have it's about evenly split male and female deputies that are great deputies that work great together. And I have actually one female in the academy right now. As soon as she gets out, I will be fully staffed, and we'll really be rocking and rolling then, Doug.
That is really good news. Now, how can good law-abiding citizens help you folks?
So, like I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He says, "Well, what can we do for you?" I said, "I'll tell you what you can do for me. When we drive by, just throw a hand up. Show us that you appreciate us, or wave at us,
Sure.
I said, try to use all your fingers,
Yeah. Say thank you a little bit, because you're out there trying to look out for all of us.
Absolutely. We're the shepherd, and we're watching over our flock, and, sometimes we have to get rid of the wolf, right?
Right, that's right.
And that's what we have to do, not only on the road, but on the water, so we're out there to be friendly. That's our main thing is more community policing.
Now, do you guys welcome others being your eyes and ears too, if they know something, or to let you know?
Absolutely. Doug, my phone rings probably 3 or 4 times a day just from people wanting to talk to me. I've never ever turned down anybody to talk to me directly. Normally, most sheriff's offices, you would call. You would get their sergeant, and if he couldn't handle it, they would get the lieutenant, all the way up the chain to the undersheriff, then finally to the sheriff. I say if you have an issue, call me directly.
You bet.
I have an open door policy and an open phone policy.
Our guest this morning, Scott Hodshire, Hillsdale County Sheriff. Anything else quickly as we wrap things up, Scott?
We're looking forward to another 4 years. I will be running for another 4 years. So if you think I've done a great job, I would greatly appreciate your vote. And there's better things to come next year.
And, of course, this isn't the first time we've had Sheriff Hodshire on. It won't be the last. Thank you for joining us on this holiday weekend for what's going on, Sheriff.
You're welcome, Doug. Everybody have a great and safe holiday weekend.
And remember, if you have